Oh no, Wi-Fi. All right. All right, and we're going live on IG. Here we go. Hi guys.
Yeah,
How y'all doing? How you doing, Devon?
crazy. Deranged.
Welcome back, you guys.
I know, back to
Hi,
back.
Kelton. Whoopty whoop. You're how y'all doing on this fine Wednesday, Lunar New Year?
Yo, why the kids don't have no school? That
It's the
make me
first
tight.
time.
I don't care.
It's
Why? We should have one for Malcolm X's birthday. Malcolm X should have a birthday that the kids have off in May. If we're going to be off for all these other damn coaches, I'm just putting it out there.
let's just keep them home.
You know what? You know what? You know what? I'm with all that. I'm not even gonna hold you. Oh,
We need to bring back
yeah.
the little neighborhood schools and shit.
Nah, we need that. We need to homeschool. Let me explain you something. Homeschool is where it need to be. Of course, my stuff is moving slow.
Oh, with your sharing. If I
Yeah, like say that again.
if I share my thing will freeze.
Yeah, don't we don't need that
Yeah.
right.
Well, it won't let me read comments. That's what will freeze. So I want to keep it open. Y'all just gonna have to click in. Y'all just gonna have to.
Y'all gonna have to see what we got going on. Yo, I don't even see you live. How about that?
What do you mean? I'm live. I'm live.
I don't see it though. Normally it pops up. I see it now. Damn, why they had you so far down the screen? Ooh, my forehead like bright in the motherfucker. Ooh. Yeah, that's one of the funniest. You ever seen that little Wayne one? He was like, ooh, ooh. You ever seen when he did that?
Yes, I did because he was literally like rocking like this.
Yeah, but you know why that happened?
No.
So what had happened is that they was talking about his music, and one of the guys spit one of the bars, and he said, "Wait, I said that? That was me? Ooh!" That's exactly how it went. That nigga so gone, he didn't even know that was him who said that shit.
He
Crazy.
said that was fire. Who
He
wrote
said, that
that?
was fire. Who said that? Me?
Who said that shit right
That was
there?
me? Ooh. That shit is so
Hmm.
funny to me.
I like today's topic. I think it's important
Muy importante.
how we navigate in these relationships with our children. I'm glad you're here though, because with my single, our experiences are different.
Totally different.
Absolutely different.
I've had 13 years with multiple children now.
And you have a nice range of ages as well.
I do. I'm getting all the experiences. I get the young adult, the teenager. I have grade school and like preschool. So I'm getting it all at the same time.
Your life is a box of chocolates, sir.
That's what you want to call it. Shit.
And you have a boy.
Yo, that nigga's a maniac. Like, yo, I ain't even gonna say what I was gonna say out loud, but yeah, that kid's a
So
lunatic.
that brings me to my first point.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Our children are our mirrors.
Yo, no lie.
Our children are our mirrors.
No
And
lie.
as much like whether they're marrying you genetically or your behaviors or they are a result of your life's decisions, your children say a lot about you.
You know, it's funny.
What?
I'm gonna start a page. Maybe you could contribute to it. It's gonna be about parenting. And anyway, I save a lot of content for it. I have a lot of saved content. You and I definitely. I know I've been mad busy out of my mind, but I definitely need to have a conversation with you about all of the content. At bare minimum, all of the content that I have saved. 'Cause I admitted that I was busy. Give me a break. So, one of the things that I noticed is this guy was talking about his dad. He was like, his dad was like a pro athlete, played D1, all that, All American, all that. He was just like, how so when he started playing sports, he had some deficiencies physically, but he was like every day he left practice, his pops was right there. And he said only once in a while his pops would be like, "Yo, you want to get something to eat?" And he'd be like, "Nah, pop, you could just go home." And dude started crying. And he was just like, "Why are you emotional?" He said, "Cause I am what my dad made me. Like the discipline that I have, the grit, the grind, like to be able to get through shit. Like my dad made me that way. I wouldn't have been that way if it wasn't for him." And he was like really appreciative of that.
Mm.
And that touched me in a way because it made me see. Hold on, I want to switch up a little bit. It made me think about how something my daughter has said to me about how she appreciates me. She was just like she was saying that she was telling KK, the younger one, you have to appreciate his softness now because he wasn't like that with me. But also he wasn't meant to be that way with me because if he was any softer,
She's telling KK that?
yeah. If he was soft with me, if I was who I was and he was who he is now, I'll be lost. So he's like that, and I said that to KK too. I was like, listen, I said I went through what I went through so I could be the parent that I am now because of who you are now. I
Say
couldn't
it
be that
again.
way. I went through what I went through with the oldest one, so I could be the parent I am now because of who you are now.
Can we talk about how rough it must be to be the first child sometimes?
Oh, it's a pain in the ass.
And then see your parents grow and mature.
With them. You grow with them.
Yeah, you grow with them. They grow while you grow, and
It's horrible. I feel bad for my oldest daughter.
the kids that got all the neurotic shit,
Bro,
the toxic shit.
he was born. I was 19. I
That
don't know
2-year-old divine must have been something.
Bruh, I don't know who I was 6 years ago. I can't identify with that nigga. You took him out 21 years ago. I apologize to her all the time. My bad, baby. I thought I knew everything. I was fucking up. I had no idea. I didn't know what I didn't know.
And you won't know until you know.
And I'm still having a hard time putting it together.
And I think we're at that also we're at that unique age. What up, Nuke? I think we're at that unique age where we have we have the perspective looking both ways.
What do you mean?
Where we're looking, I think we're aware enough to examine our relationships with our parents and figure out why we are the way we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the awareness to try to like see how we're influencing our children and how they're mirrors of us and take responsibility for that.
Ah, yes. Some of that responsibility is genetic.
Yes, but it's still our responsibility, even if it's not our fault.
The reason why I brought that up is because I'm gonna try not to sound like a dickhead when I say this. But it's not all my fault.
I mean, it would be two people's fault, wouldn't it be?
No.
Oh.
Like, it's not my fault that my kids don't have my ears. Well, Destiny does. You understand? You get where I'm going with this?
Nope.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Some genes is mine, some ain't. I don't think the retarded genes is mine. I think the stupid, stubborn, crazy, want to fight, confrontational, they're my genes. Because their mothers ain't like that. They're my genes. Well, not the stubborn part. The last one. God damn, that girl's stubborn.
Not the
But
stubborn
no, not just me. I said stubborn, but
one? Oh, okay.
the last two moms, she's just as stubborn as me. Like that's how my kids already are.
Okay.
So I think it's not just like our nurturing that we're trying to combat. It's also
No,
nature.
it's definitely not. It's definitely nature too.
It's also nature. Like I look at my kids like, oh, you couldn't have controlled that if I told you what was going to happen year in advance and every day since. You would have still done the same dumb shit just because you're wired that way. And you have to sometimes accept that and kind of anticipate. And I had a conversation last night. I want to know what you think about this, right? So we talk about relationships and stuff too. By the way, I'm starving. It just hit me just a second. Not somebody's phone ringing. I'm talking about.
No, something is playing on my computer for some strange reason. Okay.
Oh, I was getting down. So
Uh-huh.
excuse me. I'm tired and fatigued. Oh, and famished. Fatigued and famished. Um, so anyway, I had a conversation the other day talking about how to anticipate somebody's needs and how I'm not really good with that in a relationship. I'm good at accomplishing tasks that need to be done for your needs. I am not always good at anticipating them, right?
Okay.
In a relationship. However, but I in that same conversation, I said this. I'm very good at anticipating needs when we're talking about my children and in business. I'm good at anticipating the needs of my clients and or like employer. And I said the reason why is because I think I have way more information because I'm an authoritative figure in both. Right? Even if I'm an employee, I own my job. Like the job is mine to do. So I ask questions, I do the research, I do all that other stuff, right? And thus, because I'm more informed, I can kind of figure out what's going to happen next. I feel like I'm that way with my children. So I anticipate the needs of my kids because not only I'm not just informed because I did research and study, I'm also informed because I see a lot of me in them. So I kind of know what some of the triggers may be. Not all the time, because sometimes it may not look like how it will present in me, even though they're going through the same thing. But I can anticipate, like I do this with Des all the time. I told Des a week ago, nah, I kind of see where you was at in the conversation that we were having. And you need to kind of like be aware that you're going through what you're going through right now. And it took about a week, and then she hit me today like that. I'm kind of going through it. And I'm like, yeah, I knew this already, but it's and I didn't tell her I told you so. I gave her like a little exercise to do to kind of place her feelings. And then we have a task that we're going to do tomorrow to try to help that. You know what I'm saying? But I knew this was going to happen a week ago because I could see little ticks in her personality that make me say, okay, this is what's going to happen. Here's what we're going to do about it. You know what I mean? And I feel like understanding the nature part of the relationship with your child, especially because it's going to reflect, like going back to your point, it's going to reflect you a lot, mirror you a lot. It makes it a little easier to anticipate your needs if you have any amount of like emotional intelligence or any type of anticipatory response. And mothers are, I think, the best at that, like of all time. Like mothers are like the best at that.
What, anticipating needs?
Yeah, of the children for sure.
Well, I think that's because we spend more time with our children. And I find, and I think other people would say this, women are very observant. We're constantly taking in information even when we don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we don't want to.
No, but you hardwired.
We can't unsee it. Like, and so as far as anticipating needs, it's kind of like one of those, like the unspoken labor of anticipating somebody's needs usually falls on the woman as well. And we kind of do it to get ahead of the problems, to decrease our own levels of stress.
Works for me.
That's what happens when I try. It had a lot to do with me being self-aware and using my intuition as well. Like, I would see things happening, and every time I ignored it, it made more work for me later on. So literally, to reserve my resources, I had to start responding to the cues I was seeing as it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So that I also think there's a sense of duty in it. As a people pleaser, that was a valuable skill.
I'm here.
Huh?
I'm here. I'm listening.
I thought it was very interesting that you spoke about anticipating the needs of your children and said you're also good at anticipating needs in your job. And I can understand why you think that comes from a depth of understanding. But why doesn't your partner get that same energy? And it's not even, we're not even talking about that, but I was just wondering, like, your job is your job and your kids are your job.
Because I'm informed. I feel like women talk a lot, but they don't really say shit. So you have to like do a lot of guesswork. I feel like with children and with work, it's more black and white. Way more black and white. With women, like I might know your favorite food, but you don't want to eat that shit for 6 months. Kids ain't like that. They want their favorite food now. There's a lot more nuance to a woman than there is a job or with a child.
All right, I'll give you that. We have a question.
I want to answer that one. That's a good question.
Yeah. Vance goes, do either of you think you're trying to parent complete opposite of how you were raised? Absolutely. I've been trying to parent opposite of how I was raised before I even had children. Let me that's fucked up. Let me not say I'm gonna will that back.
When you're done, I'm gonna ask you a question based on that.
Because if I wasn't parented the way I was parented, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I do not regret who I am today. But not everything was easy. And but I'm trying to, like they say, oh, be the adult you needed. So I'm good. I'm trying to be the adult I needed for me so I could be the mom she needs. Oof. Because I had a long leash growing up. Nia doesn't nearly have as long as leash as me, but she still has a relatively long leash. What else? I think certain values, carried on. I'll never regret being taught how to have manners or to value education or to like be creative. But there was a lot of toxic stuff too. So I'm trying to communicate better. I'm trying to teach her about boundaries. I'm trying to empower her, let her make decisions on her own. And I think those things are important. Because sometimes we shelter our children, don't let them choose anything for themselves or decide anything for themselves, and then throw them out in the world and wonder why they can't function. Oh my God, I needed that. Are you okay over there?
I had to eat some cookies or something. I'm starving.
Yo. I think I'm a more conscious parent in that I decided what kind of parent I want to be. I don't know our parents were ever encouraged to even have that thought process.
No, I think at least from my perspective, it was a lot of reactionary parenting.
Indeed.
I've been there.
And I'm one of the later kids because, so I feel like me and my little sister really got the like, oh nah, I'm tired of being a parent, I'm gonna go live my life again energy.
How many kids your mother have?
8.
I got half that. I'm struggling. I can imagine.
8. So it, so I was thinking about, you know, being conscientious as a parent, what kind of parent you want to be. Um, are you a guardian? Are you a leader? Are you a teacher? Are you a guide? What you want your focus to be, because you're not perfect and neither is your child. And even when you have multiple children, they'll need different touches from you, different roles from you. Maybe one will be more responsible and you won't need to guide them as much. They'll be a little more independent, but they'll need your support. They'll need the cheerleader parent, you know what I mean? The supportive parent. Maybe some kids need a firmer hand, you know what I mean? But communicate well. Or, some kids maybe need to be empowered to think for themselves more. Like, each kid is going to need a different version of you. So I think you should decide what's important to you as a parent, what kind of parent you want to be, what kind of parent did you need.
I don't think that's the kind of parent that you need. I think when you said it initially, the kind of parent that you need for you to parent your kids the way they need. Something like that. That makes more sense as opposed to you being the parent that you needed.
No, I just think about the parent that you needed, so you can be aware of, you have the perspective of the parent, but you also have the perspective of the child from when you were a child, and think about the stuff that you missed out on. And what
so, one of the things that I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I'm pushing back a little bit because I literally went through this like for months and months in therapy. That we oftentimes try to outdo our parents or be so different from our parents, it becomes counterproductive. It becomes actually reductive. And one of the things that I learned is that there were some things that I didn't like about how I was brought up that actually was important. It worked. I didn't like it for a reason. You know what I mean? There were some things that I didn't like that I'll never do. There's some things I didn't like that I'll never tell my kids about. There's some things that I liked that I wouldn't do because I had like too much freedom. There's a fine line. One of the things that I noticed though is that we can't have, we have to, I can't give my kids everything I didn't have because they might not want it. They might not need it. I'm a whole different human being. So when people be like, I want to give my kids everything I didn't get. Nah, you trying to relive your childhood vicariously through them. Nah, that's not how you do it. But what you did get and what you didn't get should help you to figure out how to not only anticipate your child's needs, but also to give yourself the opportunity to better serve them.
So I feel like we definitely did have this conversation before, and I agree, where parents will take it upon themselves to be like, this is what I liked when I was growing up, so this is what I want to give you. But I was thinking on broader terms, like good communication. Not literally everything they didn't have, which is kind of what they tend to do. They think about their own life and then they project that onto their child without actually communicating with their child, which is what is important to them. And that brings me to my next point, where it was like, you need to approach your child with curiosity. Ask them about what they think. Ask them about why they feel a certain way. Ask them about what they think about family and relationships.
that's easier to do when they become teenagers. I'll be trying to do that with my 7-year-old. That shit is like trying to pull hair off this nigga teeth. It is. I'll be like, so why did you think that was important to do? And this nigga say something crazy. I mean, Dean is different. I love my son, but I often try to get him to think about what he did in his own terms. Like I heard this one thing the other day that was like, yo, don't tell your kid that their painting looks nice. Ask them what they
Ask them
think
what
about
they
the
feel
painting.
about it, what they
How
think
do
about it.
you like this? Do you like it? I don't think that works all the time. I do feel like there are some times where you have to. Your kid does need to hear the reassurance from you, like, no, this is dope. I usually do it when they already did something I know is good, like a test, or they were trying to do this flip, and now they can do the flip, and I'm like, oh, that was so dope. You know what I mean? Usually it's something that's like
Like there'll be times when you genuinely be excited for your kids.
that part too. That part too. So basically what I'm saying is
But it shouldn't be to chase your praise. It's about
right.
letting
You
them
don't want
think
them to chase their
and
praise.
feel about it themselves
You want them
first.
to have confidence because if they don't like it, then they also need to express that too. I really
Mhm.
didn't like how I did it. So what would you have done differently?
Or what were you trying to go for?
Right. Do you need help with it? Now you become their partner. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Yes.
And things like that. So I think there are ways where that works a lot of the time, but not 100% of the time. But I do think that that's something to aspire to as a parent. You know what I mean?
I think uh children need to understand the relationship too. Like what kind of son and they should be given, like what kind of son or daughter do you want to be? I ask my daughter what kind of student she wants to be all the time.
Mm.
Because that I can't live that out for her. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So what they think of their role, what do they think of family, what do they think love is, what does love look like to them? Children have love languages too, and I think that's very important that you show up in meaningful ways. And this is another thing about not projecting your needs onto your children, or your old needs, your childhood needs onto your children, because if they're telling you what they want and you're doing what you thought what you needed, then you're not being responsive.
Not at all.
So learn what works for your kids. Find out what's important to your kids, and underneath all of this, approaching with curiosity and asking questions and dialogue is connection. Knowing that one, you care enough to ask. A lot of parents don't care enough to ask.
Yo, you want to hear something? Oh, I'm glad you said that. So I was supposed to call my daughter. She called me from my mom's phone, so I just seen her mother call me. I was like, ugh. I was like, oh wait, she's calling me from my phone. So the other day I asked my daughter how she was feeling, right? I said, how are you feeling? And she's like, I'm okay, blah, 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 blah. But I was really asking her because me and my son both got sick and she helped me make the food. And I was like, damn, this bitch got us sick, right? So my son was like, oh, you making the spaghetti? Nah, son, I'm
Really?
it was so funny. And she was like, y'all got sick for them French fries. I was all right. So, and I was just like, oh, no, your brother wasn't feeling good. And, I wasn't feeling good for a little while today. It must have been something to eat last night or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she said, you know what her reply was? Damn, I thought you were just asking to see how I was doing. I said, well, I know what to do next time. And every day since then, I've been like, not every day, but like, till she got her phone taken because the grades were no good. Ever since then, I've been like, yo, hi, baby, are you good today? Are you all right? What's going on? Anything I need to know about? Want to talk to me about anything? Like, I've been hitting her up like that. Like, all right, she told
At
me what it
least she
was.
said it, because I would have thought that it should never said it, and I would have went away salty. That's how I was as a teenager. But
That's how most,
I didn't
that's
have a
how
safe
most
place to
girls
be
are.
vocal.
That's how most women are, by the way.
Motherfucker.
I don't make up the rules. I just navigate them.
I highlighted the thing where it said it wasn't safe to express how I felt.
No, but regardless of the reason that caused the behavior is very common. But I also said that this is why I feel like women are narcissists. in America, that is, because you're
I
told.
wasn't asked, so it wasn't safe.
No, what I'm saying is like you guys in society are told that you could do anything in the world, but then as soon as you go up to somebody like, hey, I could do anything, they're like, shut the fuck up. It's like, wait, what? So it messes with your mentality. I wholeheartedly believe that.
Mm. Yeah, so someone said, I'm glad she gave you the space to correct yourself. And that's very important. Like that little bit of communication change.
Let me tell you.
And that immediately changed behavior. Something as easy as asking your child how they're doing every day.
That's why me and her get along so well. That's literally, we've had that conversation about why we get along so well. And she said to me, it's because when I tell you I don't like something, you change how you do it. She said, you might not always apologize, but you won't do it again. And I said, because I'm listening to you. Even though I may feel like I said the reason why I probably not apologize in the moment is like, you little motherfucker. Like, but my daughter's been like that. And I said this at an event that I did. I did a Moms and Men event. That's actually the last live event that I've done. And anyway, and I talked about the time where you know how cranky I can be, right? In the morning time I'm cranky when I'm tired. I'm cranky as a motherfucker. Like, don't talk. My oldest daughter, no, he tired, leave him alone. The other ones, they still figuring that out. Like my son was talking to me today. I said, bro, it is 6:45 in the morning. I really wanted to say, shut the fuck up. I just looked at him like, it's 6:45 in the morning. It hurt my feelings too. Talk about communication, right? So it's hurt my feelings. So I'm trying to be quiet because I know it's early, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want him to know I'm up. My phone was like, Immediately, I hear his feet hit the floor. Boom. He ran to my room and said, I said, not right now, Dean. Not right now. He said, okay, Dad. About 10 minutes later, I'm like more awake. I said, hey, Dean. It made me feel some type of way. I'm sorry, y'all. I said, hey, Dean, what was it that you needed from me? He said, I just wanted to say good morning to you. I said, motherfucker.
So I saw something and it was
hold on. Let me finish before you go on.
Okay.
I say that to say I could be cranky in the morning.
Yeah.
And that was like that, my son just wanted to say good morning. Hey, Dad, good morning. That's all he wanted to say. And I was just so like, I didn't want to do it. So anyway, one day I was walking home and I was so tired. She was like sleeping in the back. We get home. I'm like, oh, it's probably tax season. And I'm walking home and she's looking at, and then she was just talking. And I said, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to hear, like, be quiet. I don't want to hear what you got to say. Like, not right now. Wait till we get upstairs. And I was really curt, and I was really harsh with what I said. And she got quiet. And you know that long ass block where I live on. So she got quiet and she waited till we got from the garage to my building, like maybe right before my building. And she said, I don't think it's nice to tell somebody you think they should just be quiet because you're tired. And I said,
this is also KK?
This is KK. This is like 7 years ago.
Okay.
KK.
No, I just needed to know.
Right. So I stopped immediately and I got on one knee and I grabbed her by her hands. And I said, you are absolutely right. And I'm sorry for being that way to you because I'm tired. I didn't want to be annoyed and I have to find a better way to communicate that to you. And I never tell you to be quiet because I'm tired. I'll say it another way. And ever since that day, if I'm tired, I'll tell my kids, yo, hey, it's a little early for that. Give me some time.
Ask for
Don't be quiet.
Ask for time.
Come back to me with this.
Yes.
And sure enough, my kids will shut the fuck up, and I'll make it an intention to be like, hey, so what was it that you were talking about? And it's like they never stop. So anyway, what I was trying to say was this motherfucker. Don't stop. But I now know because of my child, and because of communication, I now know to be like, okay, let me not approach it this way. And she's good for that. She won't tell me I'm wrong. She'll say, I don't think that was nice. And that's actually a good
way to put it.
Negotiating tactic. And they said this is
because she's not placing blame.
Right. She's saying,
so as parents, we can get defensive,
right,
when our children try to hold us accountable,
bruh,
because they're children, and we think they shouldn't be able to hold us accountable. But that's absolutely not true.
That's the best type of accountability. I feel like it's from the
child.
Is. I feel like I listen to my kids or any kid. Even to one time, my nephew said something to me. I was like, "Now you got it. You right." He was right. I don't know what else to say. Like he had some rationals that I was like, okay, you got it. Right? He was like, Uncle, I don't know if you should be doing it. I was like, you got it, you right.
And KK seems to have a healthy sense of boundaries, which is something we have to teach our children by having our own and respecting theirs.
Yes.
You can't, you cannot expect your child to go out in the world and have healthy boundaries if it doesn't start in the home.
Amen.
Which means not violating them, respecting them as well, and listening to what they say, just like you want to be listened to.
Mm-hmm.
Admitting when you're wrong, and letting them make mistakes. Like, you know what?
Changing your behavior too. I don't know if you said that.
You said changing the behavior. That's the best way to respect the boundary.
That's the best way of apology too. I feel like when you respect your child's, excuse me, not just say not just respecting their boundary, but showing contrition. Like, oh, I'm fallible too. I think the thing that works the best with my kids, I show them I'm human all the time.
I think it's very important to be relatable to your children and show them the human side. I feel like that was something that was missing. My mom, I'm sure she experienced a lot. She didn't tell us about none of it. Like, not in anything that was like real and applicable. And, you know, she was in her like holier than thou phase. And, you know, that means you got to do as I say, not as I. She's actually said that to us. Do as I say, not as I do.
I've said it.
And to some degree, as a parent, I don't think being a hypocrite is the worst thing in the world. Because you want your kid, just because you want your kid to have a better life than you. And right. I do believe that you should aspire to give your child a better life than you, even while you're still trying to heal yourself. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So to some degree, I think I've resolved that I would not mind being called a hypocrite, as long as I didn't go through what I went through in vain, and I use that as a teachable lesson for you. Whether what you do with the information is up to you, but you know what I mean? But I'm not going to lack where I'm not going to fail you where I feel like I've been failed just for the sake of protecting myself from being called a hypocrite. I'm not going to do that.
After that.
Yeah, no, that's not going to be a thing.
Listen, I tell my kids I ain't shit.
Yeah, I can't.
All the time. Like, I'm a good, you know what? I know that I'm a good person.
Yeah.
I do fucked up shit sometimes. Like, who am I to judge? Cast the first stone. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I tell my kids a lot? And you know, Nia and KK are the same age.
Yep.
So, one thing that I tell my daughter all the time is I say to her straight like this: you're 13. You're my child. I know your mother. I didn't know she was 13, but I know she was young enough. Apple don't fall, I fall from the tree. Whatever fucked up shit I was doing and my parents didn't know about, you probably doing about at least 1/4 of it. I'm not here to stress you about that shit. Because some stuff I'm going to know, some stuff I already know, you don't know that I know. Mm-hmm. And I have a good, and my kids hate that about me. I hold on to some shit for a long time.
Oh, my God.
Like when they think they got away with it, and I'll be right there like Scooby and them. And how about I got away with it too? You know what I'm saying? So, one thing that I noticed is that when I talk to my kids, like, I know you're going to be doing some of the ain't shit that I did. You have to. It's almost like your rite of passage.
Yeah, you gotta let them. You gotta let them fail. You gotta let them try.
And I got 3 girls, and I'm like, I don't need to know all the nitty gritty. I need to know what you up to though, because I need you not to be in a situation where you could be in a like really fucked up, and now you got some trauma that you got to deal with. I said, because you're in that situation because you were embarrassed to tell me, or you thought I was going to handle it a certain way. I'm like, just because I'm upset doesn't mean I don't love you. You're going to fuck up. I'm like, I could be married to somebody for the rest of my life. We might not talk for weeks. I don't stop loving them.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I tell them all the time, like, mind what you say to me, but don't be afraid to say anything to me, especially if you got to. My kids are, well, these are the older two I'm really referring to. Like they're really like, all right, Dad, you're not gonna like this, but you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna like this, but here's what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, that's good for me. I'd rather know. I tell KK all the time, I'd rather tell me before I find out. Because if I find out, I'm flipping tables. But if you tell me, I'll be mad, but I'll get over it. I'm very understanding about a kid's plight.
Yeah. What's up, sis? I think it's important to let your kids know you value the relationship and the connection too. Through that stuff like that. Like, I don't like that, but this is important, you know. But someone said catch your kids doing something good. So focus on the good things they do. If you gotta correct them, of course our job is to correct them. Try to praise them for the things they do right, at least as much as you nitpick them for things they do wrong. You know what I mean? And so, like, in that case, you would value them being honest. I value you trusting me enough to talk to me about this and ask what to do. You know what I mean? I appreciate your self-awareness that you think that this is too big for you. You know what I mean? And you're asking for help. That's an important skill.
I said that to Des the other day because Des, I have her working for me now part-time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her, like, how she writes notes and understands things and takes things in show that she has very high self-awareness and that she's not trying to do too much or make believe she knows. Nope. She's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Show me one more time. And I said to her, I said, I'm really proud of you. She was like, wow. I said, because you know how your mind works and you submit to that. Because a lot of people try to fight that shit because they think they know more.
And they fake it and they try to fake it until they make it.
I told her, listen.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
In the stock market for like 2 years, I thought I knew way more than I thought I knew. It wasn't until last year that I was like, nah, I'm bugging. And that's when I started having way more success. Because I was like, I got to understand how my brain thinks. And I stopped worrying about the market, started worrying about me. And when I started worrying about me, I started being more successful. And I was just like, I wish I had what you have now when I was 21, because I would have did a lot of things different.
Yeah.
And I said to KK all the time. I told KK, I said, you have very good. KK is not. I don't know if situational awareness is the right term. Because Destiny has a good situation. Like Destiny can see what's going on. And like, nope, I'm not going over there. Right? She's like that. That's a part of her anxiety, though. That's the part of her anxiety that I trust.
Oh, she has like a hypervigilance problem.
Yeah, like no, I see what's going on. She can see some shit right before it happened. Like I don't like the body language. And
that could be from her mom.
No, I know where it's from.
Okay.
Anyway, so KK is not like that, but her perception of interpersonal relationships has always been so good that I've had adult conversations with her when she was like 7 to 8 years old about like how the world works.
Yeah,
like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, it's not supposed to make sense. They don't want it to make sense because the more people are confused, the more people can capitalize. Like having conversations like that with her at 7, 8, 9 years old to now, and you've heard her speak before, that's not how she speaks. When she's emotional about something, she's a different person. And I sometimes have to listen to her like, damn, I wish my big sister told me some shit like this growing up because that's how advanced she is when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So when she has the understanding of how people operate, I sit down and listen to her. And I'm like, and I tell her sometimes, I forget being the same age as you. Because sometimes my kids ask me, you think we'll be friends if we were the same age? And I always tell them, no, you wouldn't like me. Right? But I tell her, I said, I learned from you now. Mm-hmm. Because that type of interconnectedness that you place her personality and how it relates to that person's personality and how they don't get along and it affects this person's personality. I wouldn't have cared enough to think that way. But the fact that you realize that and you navigate it, like you realize it split second and then you navigate around it so that you're not in it or you can kind of diffuse it if you don't want. I said that's a level of intellect that a lot of people don't have. I said, and I'm not only am I proud of you, like I look up to you in that way. So I tell my kids that a lot. Like I look up to you. Like I learn from you with that.
That's another thing. That's a wonderful thing about kids is that you forget. They teach you so much and remind you about stuff you forgot.
That's a fact. That last part, I forgot that was a thing.
They teach you so much. I love how children reel you back in.
That you thought you knew this shit? Watch this.
Mm-hmm. They said, here's don't stop hugging your kids, guys. Don't stop hugging your kids. They need the hugs.
Yeah, I know. I got
physical touch is very important.
Yo, so all of my kids are affectionate. 2 of them are gonna hug me no matter what I say, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing. They're gonna be hugging me. Mm-hmm. The other 2 will never reject a hug from me, but they'll never ask for one.
This is what I heard. That one, everybody needs like 6 to 8 hugs a day, which we're all at a deficit for pretty much.
Yeah, hugs. Yeah, I got a couple today.
2, if your child initiates a hug, don't be the one to break the hug. Let them hug you until they're done.
That's hard for me. Can I tell you why that's hard for me?
Because you have to slow down.
I don't like to be touched when I don't want to be touched. So even if I'm in a relationship with you and we're together, sometimes I'll sit really far from you because I don't want to be touched. It has nothing to do with you. I don't know what the fuck. I haven't gotten to that part of my
I was about to ask you
therapy yet. I haven't gotten that far. But there's sometimes I just don't want to be touched. And I have 2 children that are OD affectionate. I did read rather, that some of it is because I wasn't hugged as a kid. I even wrote about this. I wasn't hugged as a child. I wasn't hugged. I wasn't, hey, come, I love you so much. Come. I wasn't that way. So usually when I'm intimate, and I don't want to confuse this with sexual, when I'm intimate with a woman, I typically am affectionate or in need of affection. Mm-hmm. And that helps me to balance. Like, I think I even said this to you one time years ago. I was like, yo, I would hire a woman to be affectionate with me for like.
We were joking about me being a cuddle.
Right.
We were joking about me.
This is before that. This is how that conversation started coming about.
Yeah.
I'll pay somebody to just like lay with me for like 4 hours. And I'll be good for the rest of the week. Good. But I still need that, but don't desire it because of how I was raised. But my kids need it and they desire it from me specifically.
So that I think who it's from does matter.
But they
obviously
want it from the guy. You understand what I'm saying? They want it from the guy who's like, I don't want to hug right now. And they're like, I don't care. Or I can look at one of the other kids, they got the sad face on. I'm like, damn, I gotta hug him. Right? So my energy is not like, oh, this is my baby. It's like, oh, I have to touch somebody. It's weird, but you have to like. It's hard for me to hug them.
You might need the practice. You know what? But you can tell your kids something like that. I feel like if you told them it, like, Daddy didn't get a lot of practice doing this.
No, they know. They ask me now, Daddy, can I hug you? They ask me. I tell them, just don't hug me, initially it came off mean, and then I had to actually sit them down one by one. Like, it's not that I don't want to hug you. Sometimes it's not in me to do it, and I don't ever want to reject you when you want a hug from me.
That's how I got the spicy mommy nickname, the wasabi mommy nickname, because I came home from work one day and it was a very aggravating day and I was very tired. And I came in the house and they could sense it on me that I was in a bad mood. And so I was dating Anthony at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was in a relationship with Anthony at the time. And he was like, oh, you need a hug. And I was like, I don't want a hug. Like, I don't want a hug. And he took it as a joke. I was dead serious. I was like, I don't want anybody to touch me, like, right now. And I'm very rarely like that. So for me to actually have to, like, vocalize that to people was a big deal. Mm-hmm. But they didn't take it seriously. And not only did they take it seriously, they made fun of me for it, and then proceeded to hug me not only hugged me, but all three of them dog pile hugged me, and I sat there and I started to cry because I was so angry. I just wanted 10 minutes to myself, yo. Y'all could have got all these hugs in 10 minutes. I still got the work clothes on, the boots. Like, I didn't want it. I didn't want it. So I understand 100%. But the same way you could, just tell your kids, give me a few minutes, as how I feel about stuff like that.
No, that's what I do. They ask me, yo, do you want a hug? Daddy's like, yeah, I want a hug. Not right now. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I definitely needed to decompress. And I was just like, and they was like, "You're really upset? Like, you're really upset?" I was like,
Get the fuck off of me.
Yes, and I can't do anything because what I look like pushing y'all off of me or swinging on y'all, I look crazy. So I had to sit there and be like, I felt violated, yo.
I would have left. I would have walked out.
Yeah, but they were physically holding me.
No. I would have waited till the hug was over, and I would have been like, I'm out. I'm leaving. Where you going? I said I didn't want to be hugged, right? Pack my shit. I would have been back tomorrow. I would have stayed in the hotel room that day. Don't out-petty me. I said, leave me alone. You don't want to leave me alone? All right. I've said to my kids before, yo, I'm not playing. They're like, yeah, I'm not playing. I got dressed. Where you going? I told you I wasn't playing. And y'all thought this shit was funny. Now I gotta go decompress before I punch one of y'all in the face. Fucking walk out the
house. They said try to be present. It's always important with your kids. They was like, for instance, like the first 10 minutes when you see each other, obviously that would have been after our 10 minutes of decompression time. When you sit down and ask them how their day was, and you really talking to them and show interest and ask them about not only how was their day, because they're going to say good or bad or whatever. I try to ask more in-depth questions because kids don't tend to remember anything. So I'll be like,
too much going on in their brain.
Yeah, so I'll be like, what was your favorite part of the day? Or what was your least favorite part of the day? Did anything happen today that stood out to you? Rather than asking them to remember a whole bunch of stuff. And then actually trying to listen and follow and show them that you care about what they're talking about. Like a lot of times when I walk in the house, I actually have my headphones in. Mm-hmm. As soon as I get in the house, Nia will be like, hi, mommy. And she'll start going off about her day. And I'll be like, give me 1 second. Let me take my headphones out so I can hear what you're saying, and take this boots and this coat off, and I'll be right there, and I'll tell you about my day too, like kind of thing. But they was like, right before y'all leave, when you reunite, and like, so if they go away for any significant amount of time, try to be present that first 10-15 minutes with them. And when you first see each other and when you come home at night. Also, remove buffers, put the phone down.
Yes.
Turn off the music. If you want people to talk, even though you might have fun jamming to some music, and that could be a whole nother level of bonding. If you're trying to be present with somebody, you might have to turn off the TV or turn off the music.
I don't like it when people go to the park with their kids and they're on their phones. Play with your kids too. They want to play tag with you. I don't know.
That's one thing I would say I think is a strong part of me and Nia's relationship, is that I play with her.
That matters.
Like we have a thing where it's like mommy likes to go on random adventures. Where are we going today? Mommy might be like, yeah, let's just go take a random trip somewhere. Or we'll have a picnic. That's a big thing for us when it's nice outside. We go have a picnic. I'll bring the art supplies. We'll sketch. We'll play Frisbee.
But see, it's harder for me to see with me. Yeah, we do things as a family a lot, but I often have to take one-on-one time with my kids.
And you should. Each of your kids should get one-on-one time. And it should be scheduled as you schedule other things that are important to you in your life.
I'm waiting till my time frees up a little bit more in the spring, and I'm going to just do like once a week. I know this day is my day with the kid. With one of them.
Yeah.
We go out, we doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's more important that it's scheduled than it's a big thing. It doesn't have to be. It could be, let's go get some ice cream, or You want to come help me with this? Let's go for a walk real quick.
I think the schedule part is important because they look forward to it. I know in this day I'm hanging out with Dad and we're going to do something, whether it be building something or whatever. We're doing something this day.
Yeah.
So I think
it's a daddy date.
Right. Oh, I told you I took the little one out, right?
No.
Yeah, I took her out because with the school schedule, she's not here like actually like 2 days out of the week as she would normally be, and so that's like my time with her almost cut in half.
Yeah.
Every time I look at my phone, at least 2-3 times a week, she's sending me a voice note from my mother phone. Daddy, I miss you so much. I love you so much, Daddy. Right?
Aww.
I said, all right, I'm gonna take a day. I'm gonna go out with her before tax season, and I took her on a date, and she barely ate that food, but she talked to her mother about it that whole goddamn week. And then me and Daddy did this, and me and Daddy did that, and me and my daddy did that. And I'm like, that means she's enjoying herself and she felt special.
Yeah.
Like, that mattered.
Yeah.
Like, Daddy took me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he do shit with the others. Oh, yeah, but he took me. That matters. That stuff
Yeah.
matters. I feel like when you have multiple kids, like, and I've been the parent of multiple kids, and like I've been like the only, and I just feel like that the some of the memories I remember the most are when it was just me and my mom, or just me and my dad. You know what I mean? Not to say I don't remember the funny shit that happened when we was all together, but I remember that moment with me and my dad, and he took me to this thing, or when my mom took me to Coney Island that one time, or you know what I mean? Little stuff like that that to them probably meant nothing. We gonna do this real quick, so this little nigga in my nerve, but to me it was everything. And that's the one thing you said before when you kind of like see yourself as a child. That's what I think about.
I think about playing cards with my dad.
I don't think about the how. I think about how, excuse me, I don't think about their how. I think about the things that impacted me. That to the person who made it impactful, it almost like just another day.
Mm-hmm.
So I know those times I took Dean out with me to do the courier business, or me taking Demi out the other night, or me and KK going for long drives. Like, they may remember that forever.
Yeah.
They remember everything that I said that day, and I might not remember this shit at all. Like, matter of fact, that drive with KK, I remember some of the stuff that she said. I remember nothing of what I said. I bet you she could recite some of it. It was weighted on her differently than me, and that's why those moments matter, because you don't make the moment. The moment's gonna make itself. Just put yourself in the position for the moment to be made.
Just show up for the moment. That's all you have to do is show up for the moment. I agree.
And then it happened.
All right, I have a take on something. I don't know. Well, I don't think unconditional love exists except for the love of God to the individual and between the parent and the child in that direction.
Not the God in the Bible. He was fucking shit up. What you mean? He was killing cities, nigga. That was definitely conditional love. So if we're talking about the Christian Bible, no, that's bullshit. If we're talking about God itself,
I'm talking about your personal connection with God.
Still feel like if there's a hell, there's a condition. But continue.
Well, I don't believe in a hell, so there's that.
Okay. I'm just putting it.
I don't believe in hell.
I don't believe love is unconditional at all. Period.
Because boundaries exist, right? I feel like if you have self-love, you have boundaries. And if you have boundaries, it puts conditions on love. Or you still love somebody, but then other things get mitigated, like access. Like I can still love someone, but I'm over here now. Because I can't trust you to be here now. You know what I mean? But I feel like since they didn't ask to be here, we owe it to them. Mm-hmm. And that being said, even when your kids are rejecting you or disrespectful or straight up estranged from you, I think it's the parent's responsibility to never stop reaching out to that child.
Nope, don't believe that. But go ahead. Not at all.
Really?
Not at all. Not at all.
I think the onus falls on the parent.
Nope, fuck that. I think it depends on what the kid did. I think it depends on what the child did. Sorry.
It's fair.
Sometimes you gotta cut your kids off.
So Chide said, Chi Destination said, or maybe maybe with your child until they reach a certain age, I guess. I can agree with that. Because I think that's when you instill your child's self-worth through how you love them, even when they make mistakes. Even
Right.
encouraging them to make mistakes, even encouraging them to fail, that's not, those are not going to be the defining factors on whether or not I love you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
one of the last things that I'm going to say is I feel like one of the things that I heard this week, this was said like right when my son was like frustrating the hell out of me. It was like, picture yourself at 80 years old and look at it now. Like, look at your children and all the stupid shit that they're doing, and how you'll never see them at this age again. You'll never hear their voice sound like this again. They'll never be this innocent again. And let that guide you when you get upset.
that's solid advice.
I was like, that's good.
I think that's very much solid advice.
That was good. Anyway, we got cut off Instagram again.
Yes, we did.
Any final points you want to make? I was definitely checking the time, but I wasn't checking the heart.
No, I liked our conversation.
Cool.
I definitely liked our conversation. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Whether you tuned in live or you're watching this in the future, we will see you next week. Same time-ish, same place. And we're gonna get to this hour. We're gonna get to the hour so Instagram doesn't feel robbed. But y'all can always come over to YouTube.
YouTube, where's that, baby?
We need to start telling people about YouTube.
Yeah, that's a fact. Well, I was waiting until we actually came up with another name so that we can actually start our own YouTube. And then
Valid. So yeah, but love you guys. We gotta go. Mm-hmm. Say bye, Devon.
Bye, Devon. Later, Gators.